The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The U.S. Senate on Sunday voted in favor of a measure aimed at reopening the federal government and ending a shutdown. In a procedural vote, senators advanced a House-passed bill that will be amended to fund the government until January 30th. The measure includes a package of 3 full-year appropriation bills. The vote to advance it passed by a 60-40 margin, the minimum needed to overcome a Senate filibuster. If the chamber eventually passes the amended measure, it still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for his signature, a process that could take several days. Republican Senator Susan Collins explained that the legislation will provide back pay for all federal employees.
Under our legislation, all federal employees, including members of our military and Coast Guard, the Capitol Police officers, Border Patrol agents, TSA screeners, air traffic controllers, all will receive their back wages.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, voted against the measure.
We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage, from cutting off food, aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore, I must vote no.
But a handful of Democrats rebuffed their party's leadership. Under a deal struck with Democrats, Republicans agreed to vote in December on extending subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year, have been a Democratic priority during the funding battle. Many Democrats on the Hill watched the deal unfold with displeasure. California Representative Ro Khanna even called for the replacement of Schumer in a post on X. The wrangling on Capitol Hill came as Trump again pushed to replace subsidies for the ACA's health insurance marketplaces with direct payments to individuals. Sunday marked the 40th day of the shutdown. It has sidelined federal workers and affected food aid, parks and travel. Air traffic control staffing shortages also threatened to derail travel during the busy Thanksgiving holiday season late this month.
U.S. President Donald Trump was seen arriving at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida early Saturday morning, while also active on social media platform Truth Social. The president posted what he called a recommendation to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies be sent directly to the people. Those remarks came as Congress remains deadlocked over health care, and the federal government is still shut down, and just hours before the U.S. Senate reconvened at noon. And Trump's comments urging Republicans to bypass health insurance companies and directly give people federal money under the Affordable Care Act appeared to be a potential compromise. He also called again for Senate Republicans to terminate the filibuster. Trump has, for several days, implored them to jettison that rule, a long-standing Senate hallmark which requires agreement by 60 of the Senate's 100 members to pass most legislation. The Republican-majority Senate rejected legislation on Friday that would have resumed paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal workers during the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers remain at odds over how to reopen the government. Democrats want a funding bill to include health care subsidies that are due to expire for 24 million Americans at the end of the year. But Republicans say Congress must first pass a funding bill without strings attached and allow the government to reopen before tackling other issues. Representatives for the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Trump's post. U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer also did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks ended mixed on Friday as the Dow and S&P 500 gained marginally, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq slipped 0.2% to register its biggest weekly percentage drop in about 7 months. All three stock indexes spent much of the session sharply lower, but the S&P 500 and Dow turned higher late in the day following reports of potential progress on a resolution to the record-long government shutdown. Still, concerns over sky-high valuations of AI-related momentum stocks continued to weigh on the Nasdaq, says Eric Lynch, managing director and co-portfolio manager at Suncoast Equity Management.
It's a continuation of the last several days where, despite having a great earnings season, earnings up 13% year over year, there's been some profit taking going on. We've had a big run since April. Tech is kind of getting hit the hardest. Earnings misses, typically only down 2% on average, or down 7% this earnings season. So what you're seeing today is just an extension of concern about big tech, AI supercycle, and those tech names are leading the downside.
Stocks on the move Friday included Tesla, which fell more than 3.5% a day after shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package, the largest in history, for CEO Elon Musk. Shares of Expedia surged over 17.5% after the travel platform reported solid bookings from its business-to-business segment. And shares of Take-Two Interactive fell 8% following the company's decision to delay the launch of its popular video game Grand Theft Auto 6 to November 2026.
Global shares rose on Monday. Investors were optimistic after the US Senate moved forward Sunday with a measure aimed at reopening the federal government. It could end a now 40-day shutdown that has disrupted federal workers, food aid and air travel. However, the bill would still need approval from the House of Representatives and President Donald Trump. Sunday's breakthrough helped push Nasdaq futures up over 1.2%. Asian markets were up Monday after the open. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan rose 1.36%, and Japan's Nikkei was up a similar amount, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index jumped 1.5%. The positive trend spread to Europe, where shares were also up. The Pan-European Stock 600 climbed 1.1% in early trade. The shutdown has taken a growing toll on the US economy. Federal workers from airports to law enforcement and the military have gone unpaid, while the central bank deals with limited government reporting of economic data. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett warned the country's fourth quarter GDP could be negative if the shutdown dragged on.
Well, happy Monday as we take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania, and a lake effect snow warning is in effect. We'll have the details of that for you. It's in effect until 1 p.m. Tuesday. So heavy lake effect snow occurring, additional snow accumulations of 5 to 8 inches expected for our region, impacting southern Erie and Crawford counties until 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Now, my understanding is, and they're still trying to get all this worked out, but a lot of this snow going to come to our area overnight tonight. So roadways may be wet. I don't want to say slick, but just be careful this morning. But it's tomorrow morning that we're really going to have to be careful and maybe give yourself more time getting ready to head to work tomorrow. Cloudy skies with afternoon snow showers expected today and a high of 30. Cloudy with snow showers becoming a steady accumulation of snow later on tonight, and a low of 25, 1 to 3 inches expected, heavier amounts in persistent snow bands. So Tuesday, snow, low 30s. Wednesday, snow to rain as temperatures warm into the low 40s. Thursday morning, snow showers, but again, temperatures will warm into the mid-40s. Friday, partly cloudy skies and a high near 50. Even Saturday, mostly cloudy, 50. Sunday, rain showers, upper 40s, maybe even into the 50s there. So, yeah, just keep an eye out on it. The snow is really going to impact us here today and tomorrow, and primarily tomorrow. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:17. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but Luke and Amy are so delightful. As long as you watch the show, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It's the Morning Drill.
Yes, good timing there. Happy Monday, and let it snow. Winter is here. It's back, at least. So it was fun just talking to different people yesterday about it. Most people were like, oh, this is horrible. It's the end of the world. Others were like, yeah, it's kind of nice. We stepped outside for a moment last night to let our dog out. And it just had that nice, fresh smell to it, that snow smell, you know?
Yeah.
It was great. So, you all excited?
Shh, of course.
Of course.
Jeez. Yeah. I am the weirdo. I know.
No, I'm all for it now. Let's just do this thing.
Okay.
We're in it to win it. Well, today and tomorrow, primarily tomorrow. The rest of the week looks like it's going to warm up. So I was looking towards the end of the week and maybe this weekend where it's like, okay, maybe it'll be a good time to get the outside stuff done. So get the lights and all that.
This weekend?
Not Saturday. Sunday's warm.
I'm not here.
I'm okay. It'll be fine.
You're going to do it by yourself?
Well, no, but I can get some stuff
Okay.
together. I can get, if I have help.
Again, you're going to do it by yourself?
Are you taking one of the boys?
Mm-hmm. The
When
only
I say
remaining.
one of them, the only one that's
Yeah.
left. Okay, well, then maybe.
Okay. What's Friday like? Cold?
No, I think, what did I say, 40s? Upper 40s Friday? 50, near 50.
Okay, I can make that happen.
I can make that happen. We're that time of year, too, where you start looking at the calendar and it's like, oh, okay. Well, there's going to be like plots of days that we'll be taking off. And not a lot, but between now and the end of the year, for a lot of businesses, you may run into that, people like, oh, yeah, I got to get my vacation in.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared for that. Tomorrow is a federal holiday.
It is.
Veterans Day. So we salute all our veterans, and just be aware, banks and post office will be closed tomorrow. So, yeah, boy, it was a busy weekend. We had a lot of football this weekend. We broadcasted a Powder Puff football game Saturday morning, which was a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, those young ladies are amazing athletes.
They are, and
amazing.
They are competitive.
And they're competitive.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
And then I had to sneak back down in the evening because our school was a host site for a playoff game. And so I ran down to help out visiting media companies. And
you were busy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My sister and her husband visiting from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see them for a split second. So, yeah, it was a busy weekend. And then, of course, the Bills. I don't know if it was just the Bills coming off a really tough game against the Chiefs last week, but the Bills didn't look good. The Steelers looked horrendous last night.
Ugh.
No touchdowns. It was like Aaron Rodgers, his stat. I mean, there are no stats for Aaron Rodgers. It was just bad.
Mm.
It was close the first half, a very defensive game. It was kind of fun. And then, the start of the second half, I think we watched Chargers' first possession, which was pretty much how the Steelers started the first half with their first possession. So we watched just a little bit of the second half, and it was like, okay, you could kind of see where this was going. And then I thought, well, I jinxed Penn State Saturday because I watched the very end of that game. I had time between the two football games to catch the ending of the Penn State game.
I take full responsibility.
You take full responsibility.
Yeah, Penn
for their...
State was leading up till the very end, and it was, I think, me tuning in and watching caused them to lose. So I thought, well, a nice surprise would be to go to bed and wake up seeing that the Steelers had come back and won. No. Not at all. So, yeah.
Sorry.
How was your weekend?
It was busy. It was very, very, very busy.
Okay.
It was good.
Well, we've got, birthdays and what we're celebrating. We're going to do that here in a few moments.
Yeah.
We'll have that for you. Got a busy week this week. We've got tomorrow on the program, Joe Tech. I believe Pastor Drew Myers will be joining us tomorrow. We'll have some other Veterans Day related programming for you as well tomorrow. We've got on Wednesday, Krista Lundy from the Meadville Chamber. They've got their big Meadville Area Chamber auction, the 16th annual Meadville Area Chamber auction, where they've got all sorts of packages. Advertising packages is the main thing. But if you're a business owner and you're like, well, I've got my media already planned for the year, there's other things you can get, different packages. You can use it to thank your employees. Mm-hmm. You could use it yourself, I guess. You could use it to thank maybe good customers that you have.
Yeah.
So, and then, oh man, devastating news. Our good friends, it was posted over the weekend, right? Our good friends at Chateau Christine on Chestnut Street. They'll be closing their doors at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So.
That's 2 pretty big hits to Chestnut Street in the past.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Confections of a Cake Lover. They were hoping to hold out till the end of the year, but they recently posted that it's going to be in the next, is it this week?
I think so.
Could be this week into next week, but they're
part of our for our family, part of our Christmas tradition for us. So
graduations
and yeah. So
yeah.
You never want to see that with a small business,
No, and when you look at like Chateau Christine's, like their window displays this time, especially this time of year,
so beautiful.
So all the best to everybody there and their next adventure. And
yeah,
when one door closes, another one or two maybe opens up, and you never know. Find a good business to open up and continue some small business legacy there. So, but yeah, support them while you can through the holidays.
Yeah, and I think it's like a testament. So it's very important on Small Business Saturday to get out there and I'm like, I think it's died down a little bit with the the Black Friday big box store, Christmas stuff.
It doesn't seem to have the same. Yeah, and we have friends that go every year, and they we ask them every year. Like
it's their family tradition, which is great, but it's changed a lot.
Yeah,
the sales start.
They've already started.
Yeah, so it's not as exciting or competitive,
right,
as it used to be. But Small Business Saturday, that's huge. That's a huge day for your small businesses, the ones who you see on the back of your T-ball shirts or, their ads in your yearbook or, I mean, they're out there supporting your local, they're supporting your kids, your local nonprofits. They're the big push and the big drive of your community. So every day you should remember them, but Small Business Saturday is huge.
That's right. That's right. And it's just weeks away.
It is.
Well, let's get into birthdays and what we're celebrating here. Today's the 10th day of November. Who's celebrating a birthday today?
All right. Comedian Sinbad is 69 today. Actor Tracy Morgan is 57. Actress Ellen Pompeo is 56. Actor Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Uncle Baby Billy.
Yep. Singer Miranda Lambert is 42, and actress Kiernan Shipka is 26.
All right. Happy birthday to those folks. Happy birthday to you. If today happens to be your birthday from all of us here today. We're going to turn the page and find out what we're celebrating here today. Kick off a brand new week.
All right. It is Area Code Day, Forget Me Not Day, International Accounting Day. It is the Marine Corps' birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It is National Vanilla Cupcake Day, Sesame Street Day, World Immunization Day, World Orphans Day, World Science Day, Enterprise Week, Global Entrepreneurship Week, Kindness Week, National Recycling Week, National Young Readers Week. And that's all.
Okay. So find something there to celebrate today.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe I'll celebrate a couple things.
I think that's a good idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, snow. That's what everybody's talking about.
Yes.
Snow flurries right now out our window.
Our dog walked out like slow, the morning, slow, and then he saw it, turned around and looked at me, tried to walk back inside. Nope. Keep on going.
Then he went back?
Yeah, head down. I waited and brought him back in. So.
Well, last night, people started posting, not necessarily around here, but they were posting videos of their maybe time on the road and the snow coming right at them. I mean, it looked like in some spots it was coming down pretty good. But, yeah, I think for us, we're really going to see it. It's going to break up this afternoon, but it's tonight and overnight when we're supposed to get hit the hardest. So just keep that in mind. And
give yourself time.
Yeah, watch that morning commute tomorrow as that lake effect snow warning in effect until 1 p.m. Tomorrow. And I noticed all the school districts posted as well. We can talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. Right now, it's 7:30, and your news is coming up next.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The U.S. Senate on Sunday voted in favor of a measure aimed at reopening the federal government and ending a shutdown. In a procedural vote, senators advanced a House-passed bill that will be amended to fund the government until January 30th. The measure includes a package of 3 full-year appropriation bills. The vote to advance it passed by a 60-40 margin, the minimum needed to overcome a Senate filibuster. If the chamber eventually passes the amended measure, it still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for his signature, a process that could take several days. Republican Senator Susan Collins explained that the legislation will provide back pay for all federal employees.
Under our legislation, all federal employees, including members of our military and Coast Guard, the Capitol Police officers, Border Patrol agents, TSA screeners, air traffic controllers, all will receive their back wages.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, voted against the measure.
We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage. From cutting off food aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore, I must vote no.
But a handful of Democrats rebuffed their party's leadership. Under a deal struck with Democrats, Republicans agreed to vote in December on extending subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year, have been a Democratic priority during the funding battle. Many Democrats on the Hill watched the deal unfold with displeasure. California Representative Ro Khanna even called for the replacement of Schumer in a post on X. The wrangling on Capitol Hill came as Trump again pushed to replace subsidies for the ACA's health insurance marketplaces with direct payments to individuals. Sunday marked the 40th day of the shutdown. It has sidelined federal workers and affected food aid, parks, and travel. Air traffic control staffing shortages also threatened to derail travel during the busy Thanksgiving holiday season late this month.
U.S. President Donald Trump was seen arriving at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida early Saturday morning, while also active on social media platform Truth Social. The president posted what he called a recommendation to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies be sent directly to the people. Those remarks came as Congress remains deadlocked over health care, and the federal government is still shut down, and just hours before the U.S. Senate reconvened at noon. And Trump's comments urging Republicans to bypass health insurance companies and directly give people federal money under the Affordable Care Act appeared to be a potential compromise. He also called again for Senate Republicans to terminate the filibuster. Trump has, for several days, implored them to jettison that rule, a long-standing Senate hallmark which requires agreement by 60 of the Senate's 100 members to pass most legislation. The Republican-majority Senate rejected legislation on Friday that would have resumed paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal workers during the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers remain at odds over how to reopen the government. Democrats want a funding bill to include health care subsidies that are due to expire for 24 million Americans at the end of the year. But Republicans say Congress must first pass a funding bill without strings attached and allow the government to reopen before tackling other issues. Representatives for the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Trump's post. U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer also did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable, like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born breech, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
You have strong roots in the community. You may have grown a career, raised a family, and built friendships. Now you're ready to give back to the place that has supported you. But how? A charitable giving fund at your local community foundation provides an opportunity to grow your giving, invest in causes you care about, and focus on the joy of making a difference. Opening a charitable giving fund is easy. Give gifts that work best for you. Invest your charitable dollars in one of our portfolios or through your trusted financial advisor and watch your giving grow. In recognition of your generosity, you may even be able to prune your tax bill through charitable tax deductions and state tax credits. The Community Foundation tends to the administrative details while you focus on making a difference. Simply make grants from your fund to organizations big and small, near and far, and watch them bloom. As you consider community needs and opportunities, our staff acts as pollinators throughout the community and always knows the buzz. We can work alongside you to inspire future generations of givers and leave a lasting impact. Your giving is our mission. Together, we can meet the needs of today and plan for the opportunities of tomorrow. We are better together.
U.S. stocks ended mixed on Friday as the Dow and S&P 500 gained marginally, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq slipped 0.2% to register its biggest weekly percentage drop in about 7 months. All three stock indexes spent much of the session sharply lower, but the S&P 500 and Dow turned higher late in the day following reports of potential progress on a resolution to the record-long government shutdown. Still, concerns over sky-high valuations of AI-related momentum stocks continued to weigh on the Nasdaq, says Eric Lynch, managing director and co-portfolio manager at Suncoast Equity Management.
It's a continuation of the last several days where despite having a great earnings season, earnings up, 13% year over year, there's been some profit taking going on. We've had a big run since April. Tech is kind of getting hit the hardest. Earnings misses, typically only down 2% on average, or down 7% this earnings season. So what you're seeing today is just an extension of concern about big tech, AI, supercycle, and those tech names are leading the downside.
Stocks on the move Friday included Tesla, which fell more than 3.5% a day after shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package, the largest in history, for CEO Elon Musk. Shares of Expedia surged over 17.5% after the travel platform reported solid bookings from its business-to-business segment. And shares of Take-Two Interactive fell 8% following the company's decision to delay the launch of its popular video game Grand Theft Auto 6 to November 2026.
Global shares rose on Monday. Investors were optimistic after the US Senate moved forward Sunday with a measure aimed at reopening the federal government. It could end a now 40-day shutdown that has disrupted federal workers, food aid and air travel. However, the bill would still need approval from the House of Representatives and President Donald Trump. Sunday's breakthrough helped push Nasdaq futures up over 1.2%. Asian markets were up Monday after the open. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan rose 1.36% and Japan's Nikkei was up a similar amount, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index jumped 1.5%. The positive trend spread to Europe, where shares were also up. The Pan-European Stock 600 climbed 1.1% in early trade. The shutdown has taken a growing toll on the US economy. Federal workers from airports to law enforcement and the military have gone unpaid, while the central bank deals with limited government reporting of economic data. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett warned the country's fourth quarter GDP could be negative if the shutdown dragged on.
Yeah, well, stocks have been melting up because of the prospects for lower interest rates on the back of stimulus from the big beautiful bill coming online in 2026. So the problem, however, is that we're hitting kind of peak valuations at 23 times forward earnings on the S&P 500. So it's going to be really critical for investors to lean into businesses that are actually delivering the earnings growth and that businesses that are not astronomical. There's a reason why Palantir is down 15% the last 5 days. CoreWeave is down 22% the last 5 days, and Alphabet's actually flat. Alphabet's delivering tremendous free cash flow growth. It's growing. It beat its earnings estimates by 26%. Even if the AI kind of super cycle abates a bit, they've got a lot of non-AI kind of platform revenue opportunities in the next 5 years, whether that's search, whether that's cloud computing, whether that's Waymo, whether that's YouTube, etc. So I think we're going to probably see a more scrutinizing over these tech stocks in Q4 than we have recently. As an equity money manager, don't like the Tesla pay package recently awarded to Elon Musk. He is legendary at commercializing at scale. He deserves to be a very wealthy businessman. The issue here that I have is the board's rewarding poor behavior. This company has lost market share the last 3 years. It's had 3 years of consecutive year-over-year sales delivery declines. Earnings have been down for 5 years. This has not been going well. And so, the guy owns 13% of the business now, or about $170 billion worth. If he triples the market cap, he's going to be worth $500 billion already. I think that's enough incentive. If you look at Bill Gates, he owned about 15% of Microsoft in 1999, right before the tech bubble burst. That was, a large amount of assets, a large amount of equity in the business, and that seemed right. And he did quite well and was doing better in the late 90s than Tesla's been doing the last few years.
U.S. Airlines on Friday scrambled to cut 4% of flights at 40 major airports due to safety concerns caused by the record-long government shutdown. The cuts, imposed by the Trump administration, come amid a shortage of air traffic controllers who are working without pay during the shutdown, which marked its 38th day on Friday. Earlier this week, the FAA said 20 to 40% of controllers were not showing up for work on any given day. The flight cuts, which began at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, include about 700 flights from the 4 largest carriers, American, Delta, Southwest Airlines, and United.
I woke up this morning not knowing whether or not I could take my flight to California
American Airlines on Friday said 12,000 of its customers had their flights canceled. The cuts do not apply to international flights. Shares of U.S. airlines wavered Friday morning and could continue to come under pressure, said Michael Landsberg, Chief Investment Officer at Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management.
Obviously now as we come into the Thanksgiving holiday season, if we're going to see flight delays in the busiest four or 5 days of the year, that's not going to go really well for these companies. Even though they may not necessarily be to blame, consumers are going to hold them to blame because, the FAA is not at my airport. My sign says this airline and I'm 3 hours delayed or canceled. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy. So I think that's a concern that this might lead into something longer than we initially thought.
The flight cuts are set to rise to 6% on Tuesday and then 10% by November 14th if the government shutdown does not end.
Daimler Truck posted a bigger than expected 40% drop in third quarter operating profit on Friday. It also said full-year profit is expected towards the lower end of its forecast range. That's as the North American market was muted despite some recovery. CFO Ava Scherer said in a conference call that adjusted operating profit is now expected at the lower end of the $4.2 to $4.8 billion range. Incoming orders of nearly 94,000 units were at the previous year's level. It was helped by positive momentum in Europe and a recovery in North America from very low levels in the second quarter. European truck manufacturers faced lower demand in North America due to weaker freight activity and market uncertainty caused by import tariffs. Daimler Truck segment Trucks North America saw a 64% drop in operating profit to $277 million, while Mercedes-Benz Trucks business missed forecasts with a profit of $344 million.
China suspended expanded export controls on rare earths materials and equipment on Friday. The country's Commerce Ministry said increased curbs on lithium battery and superhard materials were also stopped. Beijing had imposed the measures just under a month ago, but it said Friday's suspensions were effective immediately and would apply through to November next year. The announcement confirmed and formalized an agreement reached after US President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping agreed a trade truce last month. Industry sources had earlier told Reuters China has begun designing a new rare earth licensing regime. They added it could speed up shipments but likely won't lead to a complete rollback of restrictions as hoped for by Washington. The sources said Chinese authorities told some rare earth exporters they will be able to apply for new streamlined permits in the future. The export curbs have become Beijing's strongest leverage in its trade rivalry with Washington. China produces more than 90% of the world's processed rare earths and rare earth magnets. The ingredients are key for products ranging from cars to missiles.
From a slew of data out of China and the UK to the start of the UN Climate Summit, these are the stories to watch in business and finance in the coming week. Sunday's consumer and producer price figures out of China are likely to reveal persistent deflationary pressures, as policymakers have refrained from launching major stimulus to shore up a struggling economy. House prices and retail sales, among the slew of Friday's data releases, are also unlikely to move the needle on a bleak outlook. But markets are less sensitive to China's weak run of economic data, with stocks still ripping higher, encouraged by the nation's push for greater technological self-reliance and a modern industrial system. UK investors are gearing up for a December rate cut from the Bank of England. But first, there's a forest of data to get through, much of which will be key to BOE decision-making. The coming week's numbers on consumer prices, wage inflation, and economic growth may set the tone for UK markets before Finance Minister Rachel Reeves reveals her budget on November 26th. Meanwhile, trade balance numbers may outline how much Trump's tariffs have affected the UK's special relationship with the US. The COP30 Global Climate Summit kicks off on Monday in Belém, Brazil, and it's shaping up to be a highly contentious few weeks. The diminished set of leaders attending are bemoaning the fracturing of global consensus on climate action. Many are taking swipes at the climate change-denying Trump administration while trying to assure the world they remain unswerving in their own commitments. Whether the world buys that is another question. Even host Brazil, trying to drum up $125 billion to protect world rainforests, has just taken the highly controversial decision to begin drilling for oil in the Amazon.
Lake effect snow warning in effect until 1 p.m. Tuesday. Cloudy with snow showers developing for the afternoon. Temperatures nearly steady today, around 30. Snow showers early tonight. Steadier snow developing late with lows in the mid-20s. Snow accumulations 1 to 3 inches. Heavier amounts of persistent snow bands. Some spots, Edinburgh, may see 6, 8+ inches of snow. So just be careful, be aware. And again, tonight through tomorrow morning and into the afternoon a little bit. But tomorrow morning is what we're kind of worried about and focused on. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get out the door and get to work tomorrow. Luckily, it's Veterans Day tomorrow, and you've got banks and post office, government agencies closed. Tuesday, looking at snow and temperatures into the low to mid 30s. Wednesday afternoon rain showers with temperatures in the low 40s. Thursday morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, upper 40s. Friday partly cloudy with temperatures in the low 50s. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:54. This is the morning drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. This is what we're looking at today. Again, a lot of it's pretty well broken up. So this morning and into this afternoon, not too bad. Some flurries, but it's tonight when it starts to come all together. So that's the worry, and flurries right now out our studio window. So yeah, winter is back.
It's the season.
It is the season. Yeah, glad you're with us here on a Monday, and got a busy week ahead. Mentioned tomorrow's Veterans Day. We also have Joe Tech joining us tomorrow. Pastor Drew Myers will be with us from the First Methodist Church. And, what else is going on? Fall sports for us is officially
over.
Done. Yeah.
No more.
We had a lot of fun Saturday doing the Powder Puff football game. It was a great time. I think our son has his soccer banquet tomorrow night, but that's fun, and that'll be not for you. You've been working hard on that as one of the booster parents, but
yeah,
the kids should have a good time, right?
They should. That's the whole point of it. Fun stuff.
And then we can switch gears, right? Basketball, swimming, wrestling. Tis the season for all of that. I don't remember winter sports. Do they start this week or next week?
I believe
officially?
they start next week. That's kind of why, the banquet is now.
Okay, because you got kids transitioning into other sports.
So we just want to get it done before so they can move on officially.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's always fun, being in the gym or the pool for these events.
Yeah.
The pool, though, swimming, a lot of fun to cover. It is hot. It gets really hot in there.
And it's funny because it's like you're trucking your way there and it's cold and snowy outside. And so you're dressed appropriately. And then you get in the pool and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to die.
No, we don't dress appropriately. It's short sleeves. And
no, I know.
And then we're running outside into the cold just to cool down. But
yeah,
a lot of fun. And then we'll blink and it'll be spring sports season. And another year in the books.
It's crazy.
Something like that. I had I think we have time to do it. Let me see here. Okay. And this is something I should follow, but I don't. But the holidays can also bring a lot of stress for people, right? 85% of the things we worry about never happen, according to this study. Isn't that crazy? A recent study found that 85% of the things people worry about never happen. And of the 15% that do, around 80% of individuals found that the challenge is easier to handle than expected, or they gain valuable lessons from them. So whatever it is you're currently worrying about, take a deep breath and just know that it most likely either won't happen or will be easier to overcome than expected. 85% of the things we worry about never happen. What do you think about that?
It's crazy.
Do you believe it?
I feel like it's a...
Or does somebody get really bored and decide to write an article about that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. To give their opinion of their own life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it depends on what you're worried about. I mean, there's a different degree of what people worry about. So
I would say lots. Well, sometimes it's work, right? Maybe a project you have.
Yeah. Finances,
Mhm.
your kids' health, you know.
Yeah.
It could be
For
that
some-
simple, or
For some, it might be food for Thanksgiving this year, or
Mhm.
knowing where to go, or where to get it.
yeah.
Worrying about, gifts for everybody. I think that should be like I don't know. Maybe it's time to retreat from some of that stuff. Because you spend so much money on gifts for other people, and they're spending money on gifts for you, and it's like, just call it even.
Yeah.
Like, let's just hang out. Let's bake cookies together, or come and have dinner, or let's play games, or
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
So this, like, pre-COVID, we haven't done this in a while because life gets away from everybody, and like the last thing you want to think about at Christmas time is one more event. But we used to have a party, and I think the first year we did it, we were like, oh, please don't. Well, nobody listened, and everybody brought gifts. So then the next year we did it, it was like, okay, here's the deal. And we created a game. You can't spend more than this. It has to be something strange. Everybody brings, something, wraps it. We all put them in, and then we just start picking them up and opening,
It's a lot of fun.
It is very funny. It's hilariously funny.
All right, we got third hour coming up online, and great local programming will continue on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And don't forget, we do have for Northwest Pennsylvania that lake effect snow warning in effect until 1 p.m. Tuesday.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The U.S. Senate on Sunday voted in favor of a measure aimed at reopening the federal government and ending a shutdown. In a procedural vote, senators advanced a House-passed bill that will be amended to fund the government until January 30th. The measure includes a package of 3 full-year appropriation bills. The vote to advance it passed by a 60-40 margin, the minimum needed to overcome a Senate filibuster. If the chamber eventually passes the amended measure, it still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for his signature, a process that could take several days. Republican Senator Susan Collins explained that the legislation will provide back pay for all federal employees.
Under our legislation, all federal employees, including members of our military and Coast Guard, the Capitol Police officers, Border Patrol agents, TSA screeners, air traffic controllers, all will receive their back wages.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, voted against the measure.
We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage. From cutting off food, aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore, I must vote no.
But a handful of Democrats rebuffed their party's leadership. Under a deal struck with Democrats, Republicans agreed to vote in December on extending subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year, have been a Democratic priority during the funding battle. Many Democrats on the Hill watched the deal unfold with displeasure. California Representative Ro Khanna even called for the replacement of Schumer in a post on X. The wrangling on Capitol Hill came as Trump again pushed to replace subsidies for the ACA's health insurance marketplaces with direct payments to individuals. Sunday marked the 40th day of the shutdown. It has sidelined federal workers and affected food aid, parks, and travel. Air traffic control staffing shortages also threatened to derail travel during the busy Thanksgiving holiday season late this month.
U.S. President Donald Trump was seen arriving at his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida early Saturday morning, while also active on social media platform Truth Social. The president posted what he called a recommendation to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies be sent directly to the people. Those remarks came as Congress remains deadlocked over health care, and the federal government is still shut down, and just hours before the U.S. Senate reconvened at noon. And Trump's comments urging Republicans to bypass health insurance companies and directly give people federal money under the Affordable Care Act appeared to be a potential compromise. He also called again for Senate Republicans to terminate the filibuster. Trump has, for several days, implored them to jettison that rule, a long-standing Senate hallmark which requires agreement by 60 of the Senate's 100 members to pass most legislation. The Republican-majority Senate rejected legislation on Friday that would have resumed paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal workers during the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers remain at odds over how to reopen the government. Democrats want a funding bill to include health care subsidies that are due to expire for 24 million Americans at the end of the year. But Republicans say Congress must first pass a funding bill without strings attached and allow the government to reopen before tackling other issues. Representatives for the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Trump's post. U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer also did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville. Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733. For over 30 years, J. Gill Plumbing and Heating has taken pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. Our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. And with the J. Gill Service membership, you can take advantage of additional benefits like filter replacements and priority service scheduling. Plus, members get 10% off future projects. Call today to get a free estimate or ask about financing options. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online at jgillplumbingheating.com. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
211 is a simple telephone number to remember when you don't know where to go for help. Dial 211 when needing to find health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. It's free and confidential, and you'll have access to thousands of programs and services for emergency and non-emergency situations. Visit pa211nw.org to learn more, and remember, help is available by calling 211.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
U.S. stocks ended mixed on Friday as the Dow and S&P 500 gained marginally, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq slipped 0.2% to register its biggest weekly percentage drop in about 7 months. All three stock indexes spent much of the session sharply lower, but the S&P 500 and Dow turned higher late in the day following reports of potential progress on a resolution to the record-long government shutdown. Still, concerns over sky-high valuations of AI-related momentum stocks continued to weigh on the Nasdaq, says Eric Lynch, managing director and co-portfolio manager at Suncoast Equity Management.
It's a continuation of the last several days where, despite having a great earnings season, earnings up 13% year over year, there's been some profit taking going on. We've had a big run since April. Tech is kind of getting hit the hardest. Earnings misses, typically only down 2% on average, or down 7% this earnings season. So what you're seeing today is just an extension of concern about big tech, AI supercycle, and those tech names are leading the downside.
Stocks on the move Friday included Tesla, which fell more than 3.5% a day after shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package, the largest in history, for CEO Elon Musk. Shares of Expedia surged over 17.5% after the travel platform reported solid bookings from its business-to-business segment. And shares of Take-Two Interactive fell 8% following the company's decision to delay the launch of its popular video game Grand Theft Auto 6 to November 2026.
A lot of people don't realize that East Mead Township, where I live, that's part of that same, the Cochranton area. All the way up, I think, even to Spartansburg, I think. It's a huge area. It's a huge. If you figure, if you got in a car in Spartansburg, drove all the way down to Titusville, then drove all the way to Cochranton, that's a big area. That's a big area.
That's big. Well, it's been funny to see where signs have been, placed in people's yards. You go all the way out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting talking with Ben today. He said that this was essentially his first day of campaigning in Titusville, which is his home. It's his hometown, and but he's been all over every other municipality that's covered by this very large magisterial district, and it's so hard that they're few and far between to get to houses and get to events and talk to people.
How do you kind of divvy up that game plan when you're running? And your first time versus now might be drastically different, but how do you handle when you look at the size, territory you have, and then imagine, U.S. congressman or, others, when you look at this, how do you get out and see everybody?
Well, you can't. At least in a state house district, you can't. You probably could for Titusville City Council.
Oh, I did. I knocked about 2,000 doors.
Yeah,
so.
you could hit pretty much, Wow. But yeah, I just kind of make it up as I go. The first time I ran, and then as recently as last year when I had an opponent. But I don't know. You just kind of know that you can't knock on every door. So you just, I don't know. You might get up some days like, you know what? I feel like being right in a little town. I think I'll campaign in Cochranton today. You just walk up and down sidewalks, and and other days it's like, I feel like seeing some of the countryside. I think I'll go to Beaver Township and just be in a mostly wilderness, just very sparsely populated place, and just knowing that you can't possibly knock on every door.
Is that though the side of politics that isn't going to go away anytime soon? Like, no matter what you do with social media, no matter, even traditional media, it's still getting in front of people, shaking hands, kissing babies, knocking on doors.
I think the doors are getting harder because a lot of people have doorbell cameras now. So you'll see 4 cars. There'll be 4 cars in the driveway. Every single light in the house is on. You ring the doorbell.
Brad's coming.
Yeah.
Grab the kids, hide.
And some of the people, it's probably, well, we always vote for Brad. We agree with him, but he'll probably try to talk to us for 20 minutes if we answer the door. Or it's like, well, I can't stand Brad. We always vote against him. I'm not going to waste more time talking to him. I don't know if there's doorbell cameras in Titusville.
Oh, yeah.
But
we have some technology, Brad.
We're not all the way out there in the middle of boonies.
Well, see, I used to represent Titusville. I don't know if you knew that. Like back, you would have been like 10 years old when I was a state rep there. But back when I used to knock on doors in Titusville, nobody had a doorbell camera, and every single door that would open up, are you that Brad Roy guy? Yep, that's me. And but yeah, so it's getting harder. And then unfortunately, some people are starting to think about safety. We were talking earlier about political violence and stuff, and what if somebody knocked on a door and some nut is behind the door and they punch the candidate in the face, or they shoot him, or they stick their dog on them, or and I don't know what the solution is. Maybe people should campaign in pairs, not go by themselves. Maybe I don't know what the answer to that is, but you have to think about that a little bit. You have to think about that.
Gavin, for you, what approach did you take, and how much of it was sort of those traditional things? I know you did things being at a coffee shop, or are those things still extremely important, so you are out with people in the community?
Absolutely. And Titusville we have a lot of older folks that are not going to be on social media, and I want to make sure to get their input and get my name out there and make sure I had their support. And so I knocked on as many doors as I possibly could. You got to remember, I'm also a college student, so I'd be going to class all week, and then from Friday night till Sunday night, I'd be out knocking on doors and talking to people. And that was the part that I loved. What I didn't love was the social media aspect. I've gotten better at it since then, I think, but it's still, the times are changing. You have to be able to change with them, but you're never going to replace that sort of retail politics.
Yeah, and Brad, you may or may not be used to it. I'm not sure. I think you do a good job at when somebody says something about you, brushing it off if it's negative. Gavin, I know you've been attacked by somebody, specifically, but whether somebody agrees or disagrees with you, it's not right where some of these attacks come from, especially when it gets real personal, and that's tough to watch. Somebody from the outside looking at stuff that you guys do.
Yeah, it certainly got to me a great deal during the campaign, and I think even in the first few months in office. But I've since gotten to a point where I'm confident in what I believe, and I can back it up. And if someone disagrees, they're welcome to have that opinion. But yeah, it is very often personal. I'm sure that you've had that experience where people will drag you through the muck rather than having a policy disagreement.
Do you enjoy having conversations with people who disagree with you?
I love
sometimes more than people who agree.
It's kind of fun, actually.
I do. I love it.
Well, you both tend to.
You relish in that.
Yeah, I know. It's fun watching, especially like at the fair. I'll see you just kind of light up like, yeah, let's talk.
Right.
And
right.
Gavin, same with you. I'll see you around and somebody will say,
I think we've
hey.
had conversations like that, Luke.
Well, you and I have.
Yeah. But no, I always enjoy it because it sharpens my skill in backing up my beliefs, and I'm sure that it's the same way. And people, you know, we kind of talked about it earlier a little bit, but people that they really just need to stay focused on the issues, you know, and like you'll see some people on both sides. They'll say, well, you know, he's stupid or he's dumb or you know he hates the county or he hates the state or he hates kids or no, you don't say that. You say, well,
and Jack doesn't. We verified all that.
No, but
that's
you say, they want to spend too much and that's going to raise taxes, or he wants to tax too little and we're not going to be able to provide as many services as we need to. You know, there just shouldn't be talking about people, hating people and stuff like that. But yeah, it's I always enjoy hearing other people's points of view, and but our jobs, yours in Titusville, mine in the State House, if you have a large portion of the people, 60 or 70% of the people saying, hey, Brad, vote this way on such and such, or hey, vote this way on such and such, you're always going to bump into people that were on the other side of that exact issue. It's like, I can't believe you voted how you did. Right. It's like, well, talk to all your neighbors because all of them told me to vote this way.
So we're starting to get, I've been sort of burrowed down here, guys. I apologize. We're starting to get, the first cut. They came in at 9 o'clock here. I just want to go to a couple. This is from Crawford County. Just go to we had the mayor in here, for example, just now with about 18% at 9 o'clock, the left of 9 o'clock of the reporting. The incumbent Democrat Mayor Jimmy Kinder has 979 votes. Don Erdley, the Republican challenger, 473. And we had some folks in here. You remember they were just here. For the council, vote for 2 on either side. Mary Moody, who was here, 907. Andrew Herbstreit was here, Democrat, 889. Jim Roa, he's an incumbent, Republican, 497. And Bill Lawrence, who was our first off the top of the hour at 6 o'clock, Republican challenger at 466. And again, that's with less than 20% of the vote, counted at right around 9 o'clock. Interestingly, the way this works in Crawford, like most places, those inner ring areas, the districts inside the city specifically, and then some immediate areas, that they're, just by propinquity, the first one to bring their bags in are the first ones to get counted. So, for example, in the Superior Court, Brandon Newman at 9 o'clock with, this is about 11%, led with 3,366 over Maria Batista, the Republican challenger. She had 2,190. So we'll see how this unfolds, right, as this thing as more reported, more precincts from farther away from the city of Meadville come in and get their rolls into the counting.
Now, one interesting thing, if you look at the details more, for that race, the one you're talking about, Newman and Batista, the mail-in ballots, the Democrat Newman, he had, almost 2,900 mail-in votes.
Right.
Batista had about 1,500.
Right.
The election day totals of people that actually voted today,
right.
The Democrat had about 500, the Republican had about 700. So what you might see, I don't know, over the night is those numbers will get closer.
Oh, yeah.
Because if all the mail-ins are counted already, but they're still getting results for the early actual polling sites.
And that would be the same thing for the judge, the retention.
Yeah. And then for like Meadville City Council and school board, stuff like that, you don't know, like in Meadville, right down there beside the library, that church there.
1, 2, I think that is.
I don't know what the number, that's a heavily Democrat area. But you get out there by Halewood Golf Course, that's more Republican. So if there's one precinct or a couple precincts that turned in, so it's hard to tell early on.
It is.
And I think an interesting thing with that race, and going not just that one, but with Stella Sy and Matt Wolford, is that 3 of the 4 candidates in both of those races are Western Pennsylvania. Stella's the only one from Philly. I know Brandon Newman is from Washington, Maria is from Clarion.
Clarion.
And then Wolford is from Erie. So it's interesting to see on a statewide race so many folks from Western PA.
It's unusual.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a very unusual. Statewide races, very, very unusual. From this,
we've actually considered in Harrisburg and worked on legislation to have districts for the PA Supreme Court, the PA Commonwealth Court, PA Superior Court, because what usually happens is almost all the judges tend to be from the Pittsburgh area and the Philadelphia area. Right. Whereas if there were different districts, you'd have people, sort of like you have in the State House, the State
right.
Senate, rather than almost all of them being just from a handful of counties.
Mm-hmm. Think that has a chance, snowball's chance?
I don't think anything has a snowball's chance when there's 102 to 101 majority in the House, and then the Republicans having a majority in the Senate. It would require amending the PA Constitution, which is a very time-consuming. I mean, it literally takes two different two-year legislative sessions,
sure.
and the public has to vote on it. So it would take literally years to get done.
Yeah.
Understood. So at least we're seeing a trickle of results come in. We don't typically go through the school districts unless there's a burning issue, but one of the things I'd like to get another cut of results and just talk a little bit about who. Obviously, there's the opposition write-in group, if you will, and a slate of Republican candidates. What kind of votes they're getting? If we can make any kind of early assumption, if you've got 50 votes, there might be an issue, right?
I want to know. Brad, maybe you can answer this. How did Penncrest become like the center of school board craziness the last handful of years? What is going on there?
Something in the water out there or something.
Well, there's just... we could have like a whole show. How long are you on till?
If you've got some information, we'll go until...
No, there's a more conservative group and a more moderate group, and I supported the more conservative group. And the more moderate group, a couple of their, candidates have voted for property tax increases. A lot of people are really concerned with the high level
right.
of school property taxes. The other group of candidates, there's a couple on there that have been on the school board before, and they did not vote for property tax increases. So that's what a lot of it is. The teachers union is behind, supporting the more, moderate group. A lot of conservatives are behind, obviously, the more conservative group, and just like nationwide, the more conservative people in Penncrest, they want to make sure that boys cannot, play on girls' athletic teams. They want to make sure there's not books with, pornographic images, which there were some in some of our libraries. There was some pretty, pretty raunchy stuff that shouldn't be in a school library, making sure that's not in there. And there just needs to be a better vision, too, for some of these school districts. So many of these school districts, they do all this right here in town, a few blocks from here. Crawford Central spent $5 million to remodel East End School. Mm-hmm. Then they closed it 2 years later.
Right.
Conneaut spent all that money,
right.
remodeling all their schools. Well, then they merged all the schools together, and then they keep closing schools one by one. And a lot of taxpayers are upset over that, and they just think there should be more of a better organized way of spending our hard-earned tax money. And now, the good side of what's going on in Penncrest is it is good to see so many people actively involved. A lot of people, a school board election, what's that? I don't even know what that, a lot of people. So I think most people in Penncrest are aware of school board elections. So hopefully there'll be a good turnout when we see the final numbers.
I think you're absolutely right. It's been a hotbed for a very long time. There's more of an activist element, I think, generally in that geography, going back to some well-known names from 20 years ago.
And what's really interesting is school board candidates can cross-file. They can be on the Republican ballot and the Democrat ballot. And it's considered a nonpartisan position. That's why you can do it. Well, it seems like that's probably the most partisan position
right.
a lot of times. So, maybe that's something we need to look at doing. that, just treat it like city council, township supervisor, borough council, county commissioner. If you're a Republican, you run for the Republican nomination. If you're a Democrat, you run for the Democrat, but you don't run for both.
Right. Well said.
Agree with that?
You looking at me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the hope would be that it would be something that's impartial, that you're not going to use your political ideology. But of course, we've seen that happens. And, whether it's the issue of books or bathrooms, it's a hotbed for those kind of culture war policy fights. And so I don't know where we go from here. I'm thankful that Titusville is pretty standard by the book boring. Don't tell Lynn Cressman I said that. But I think that these races are incredibly important, and I hope people continue to come out and stay engaged no matter who's on the ballot.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The U.S. Senate on Sunday voted in favor of a measure aimed at reopening the federal government and ending a shutdown. In a procedural vote, senators advanced a House-passed bill that will be amended to fund the government until January 30th. The measure includes a package of 3 full-year appropriation bills. The vote to advance it passed by a 60-40 margin, the minimum needed to overcome a Senate filibuster. If the chamber eventually passes the amended measure, it still must be approved by the House of Representatives and sent to President Donald Trump for his signature, a process that could take several days. Republican Senator Susan Collins explained that the legislation will provide back pay for all federal employees.
Under our legislation, all federal employees, including members of our military and Coast Guard, the Capitol Police officers, Border Patrol agents, TSA screeners, air traffic controllers, all will receive their back wages.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the chamber's top Democrat, voted against the measure.
We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage, from cutting off food aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore, I must vote no.
But a handful of Democrats rebuffed their party's leadership. Under a deal struck with Democrats, Republicans agreed to vote in December on extending subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. The subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year, have been a Democratic priority during the funding battle. Many Democrats on the Hill watched the deal unfold with displeasure. California Representative Ro Khanna even called for the replacement of Schumer in a post on X. The wrangling on Capitol Hill came as Trump again pushed to replace subsidies for the ACA's health insurance marketplaces with direct payments to individuals. Sunday marked the 40th day of the shutdown. It has sidelined federal workers and affected food aid, parks, and travel. Air traffic control staffing shortages also threatened to derail travel during the busy Thanksgiving holiday season late this month.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me. Somebody say pinch?
Pinch,
Ooh,
pinch.
pinching time.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs? Oh, don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea? We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks ended mixed on Friday as the Dow and S&P 500 gained marginally, but the tech-heavy Nasdaq slipped 0.2% to register its biggest weekly percentage drop in about 7 months. All three stock indexes spent much of the session sharply lower, but the S&P 500 and Dow turned higher late in the day following reports of potential progress on a resolution to the record-long government shutdown. Still, concerns over sky-high valuations of AI-related momentum stocks continued to weigh on the Nasdaq, says Eric Lynch, managing director and co-portfolio manager at Suncoast Equity Management.
It's a continuation of the last several days where despite having a great earnings season, earnings up, 13% year over year, there's been some profit taking going on. We've had a big run since April. Tech is kind of getting hit the hardest. Earnings misses, typically only down 2% on average, or down 7% this earnings season. So what you're seeing today is just an extension of concern about big tech, AI, supercycle, and those tech names are leading the downside.
Stocks on the move Friday included Tesla, which fell more than 3.5% a day after shareholders approved a $1 trillion pay package, the largest in history, for CEO Elon Musk. Shares of Expedia surged over 17.5% after the travel platform reported solid bookings from its business-to-business segment. And shares of Take-Two Interactive fell 8%, following the company's decision to delay the launch of its popular video game Grand Theft Auto 6 to November 2026.
I think Bill has a lot to say.
Yeah.
He usually does, and it's very insightful. Bill, you weren't quite sure you were going to run again, and here you are. Talk about the process of just getting your mind together and saying, yeah, I think it's important.
So I love politics. I always have. In fact, one thing that people might not know about me is that was my first major in college was political science. And now I own a gym, so obviously, right? So I've always followed politics. I've always enjoyed it. And I decided 2 years ago that I wanted to run for city council, you know, dip my toe into the water, if that's what you want to say, about getting into politics. And it was new to me, especially I'd always followed more what was going on nationally, or maybe even in the state. I'd really, embarrassingly, never really followed much locally what was going on. And when I decided to run, it was kind of like a big learning curve. Like I had to learn a lot, but I loved every single second of learning about it. So I had to learn about the budget and how Meadville works, and learned a lot in a really short period of time. But just never didn't want to do the stuff. Like I always wanted to go. If there was an event, I wanted to go to. If there's people that want to talk to me, I wanted to talk to them. I just felt very energized by the whole process. So I ran 2 years ago and loved it, and I fell a little bit short. And I wasn't even like, I don't know if disappointed. I don't even know if I was disappointed. It was more like I knew I gave my best effort. That's why I don't think I was really, I wanted to win. But I knew I did all the things that I knew how to do. I didn't know what else to do except for, I did all of it. It's kind of like when I competed in bodybuilding, like in wrestling or whatever. Like I was never upset if I knew that I prepared the best I could prepare for that. Win, lose, or draw. So I came a little bit short, and I thought, well, that was it. I'm done. I gave it a go, and that's probably all I'll ever do. And then I was approached in May of this year to run again, and my first answer was no. I'm like, I did it. I'm done with it. Thanks, though. And I was told kind of like, hey, we have a team of people that we're going to, knock on some doors for you, and we're going to do a lot of phone calling and work on the mail-in ballots, because I think that's where we fell really short 2 years ago. In fact, I think I won. I know I did. I won the in-person voting 2 years ago by quite a bit, actually. But then when the mail-in votes came in, that's when it was all over. So I knew that we needed to work on that. And unfortunately, things happened with the members of our team that were in charge. One, they got jobs and promotions and moved away and took on great things, which is great for them, wasn't great for me. So we kind of found ourselves as a team kind of like without a leader. I kept using the expression, if any of you are familiar with the movie Stripes, you're our big toe, Bill Murray said. I felt like we didn't have a big toe for a while. Like, who's leading us? What are we doing? And then I kind of just decided, well, I got to start doing things. So I just decided kind of like on my Bill Lawrence for Meadville City Council Facebook, I started putting up videos every week. I started knocking on doors and started kind of like just deciding to do whatever I thought was right to do it. And we'll see how it turns out. It could be terrible, it could be great, or anything in between. But I thought our social media game was really good this time around. Most of our videos were getting 400, 500, 600 views. Those might have been views of people that didn't like me. I don't know. But we did, and they got a lot of shares. But I felt like I got my message out the best I could. It's really hard to get your message out in Meadville. Like, it's hard to just get it out there because you put it on Facebook, but like, sometimes I thought like I just wanted to go to Diamond Park and start speaking and just see if people would just start listening. Because I wanted to get my message. I wanted to talk to everybody, Republican, Democrat. If you think that you really hate Bill and what he's going to do, like, I want to talk to you. And I really try to talk to as many people as I possibly can. Let's break that down a little bit. That's interesting because nobody runs to run. I mean, you could like it or hate it, but usually you're motivated by something that, is near and dear to your heart. What was the driver this time, Bill, and how did you separate your message from the incumbent? This might sound like, I don't know how this is going to sound to everybody, but one of the big things is I just really believe I'd be very good at this. And I don't know that, I just think I would. I know what my strengths are in life, and I know what my weaknesses are. I know I can't build things, for example. So if you want me, I'm not the guy to call if you want something built, right? But I know what Muscle. I can build muscle. I can't build a set of stairs. My son can. I can't. And I just think I would be good at this job. I think I understand it. I think one of my biggest strengths is I really can sit with a group of people that don't agree, and I really feel like we can find common ground on what the best solution is. And the election's over, so I have no reason to make that up and say it. Like, I just really believe that that's something we need to do better, and we don't do it right now. Like, everyone just takes like the hard this stance, when everybody knows that the real answer is here. Everyone knows it, but no one wants to do it. I thought I could do that. So what separates me apart from my opponents? I think that the big part is I want to look at Meadville as a whole, and I think every single person needs to be heard, and I think that only their niche group is all they care about. And I don't think they care about anybody else. I feel like the Vote for Meadville crew puts nothing into the businesses of downtown Meadville. I always say, they've never come to visit me. I've been there for 26 years. Not one person from city council's ever come to my business at any time.
At any time?
At any time, ever. I've had good things happen, and I've had bad things happen. I've had issues where I had huge pipes that broke, and I will still argue that no fault of my own when the PennDOT was working on the road and the pipe broke. And I'll argue all day that wasn't my fault because they were running jackhammers over the pipe, and it broke, but it's my responsibility. It cost me $20,000 to fix that. What did I want from city council? Nothing. Maybe I come over and be like, hey, man, I understand. You're a business in Meadville. That's a shame. So when bad things happen or when good things happen, like when we celebrated our 25th year of business in downtown Meadville, no one, I kind of find that disheartening in a way, that I don't see any passion for downtown. And I don't see any passion for wanting to keep our kids that want good jobs to stay in Meadville. The kids are wanting to move away, and I don't blame them. And we need to get them to stay here, and that's how Meadville is going to thrive, and that's what differentiates me from them.
One thing it struck me, I've talked to several business owners that echo Bill's comments. Nobody's ever knocked on the door and said, hey, what do you feel about parking, or what do you feel about anything that affects your business on the street? I'm talking like the Main Street kind of, like your business.
Yeah.
And if a candidate like yourself gets in, what would you do differently then? Would you have some kind of literally networking thing?
Yes, literally day one. I've thought about this a lot. Yeah. Day one, I would put together a better way of communication for all the businesses in downtown Meadville. I would literally ask them all to come see me. I'd say, I want to talk to each and every single one of you, whether it be individually, if you want to come in groups, and I want to say, what are your concerns? Because I think my concerns are different than a lot of the other business concerns. Because my business, and I'm fortunate, is more of a destination, like you come to see me, and you have an appointment, like you're going to come and train at my gym. But I'm not a stop-by place, where there's a lot of great businesses, Chateau Christine's, the Tattered Corners, like all kinds of places that people would stop by more if it was more convenient. It had more of a reason to go downtown. Like, oh, I'll walk into this bookstore, see what they got, or walk into this clothing store, see what they got. Where I'm different, so my needs are probably different than theirs. So I would just literally want to talk to every single one of them and say, what can we do for you better? How can we stay out of your way more? Maybe the answer is, hey, stay out of our way and let us do things. Like that could be the answer, which is I'm also fine with.
So you're talking about something like almost like a business roundtable type of a thing?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that'd be a really shrewd move for anybody. I think it's good for the city. And it was your idea. We didn't talk about this prior. You came up with this kind of an idea. Things like that have been, I think, historically tried, but it kind of ran out of fuel.
Well, and I know in Titusville they do a monthly roundtable for nonprofits, that's been outstanding, just to get everybody on the same page. So you're not duplicating services, or somebody can say, hey, why don't we partner here? But that sounds like you could do the exact same thing with businesses. What struggles are you having? What successes are you having? What events should we be self-promoting? Things like that.
For sure. And we do some things like the, first Saturday shopping, or second Saturday. I'm messed up.
First Friday, second Saturday.
Yeah. We do stuff, but there could be a lot more.
Gotcha.
And again, also a lot of that is just communication. Probably the biggest complaint I heard when I talked to business owners was the lack of communication with current city council, people in charge, and what's going on. Even just something as simple as, I didn't realize you were going to block off the roads today. Or when they put the QR codes for the parking meters, which I don't think is a bad idea at all. I think it's a great idea. They never told us. There was talk that they might do it someday, but no one ever said, hey, there's going to be a QR code on there tomorrow Make sure you tell your customers this is what it is and this is how you use it. One day, just someone came to my gym and said, hey, what's this sticker on the parking meter? And I was like, I don't know. Probably, they said they might put a QR code on there. Is that what it is? And that's how I found out about it. So it's just not, there's no communication. There's no communication because.
For those who don't know, is that to pay your meter?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes, to pay your parking meter. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And honestly, if I'm being blunt, I think there's no communication because I don't think that current city council really cares that much. And that's why they don't take the time to do it.
One other thing I wanted to mention, I think it's important because serving on different foundations and boards over the decades, I mean, the contribution of the larger businesses in town, like the Channel Locks and now the Posts, it can't be ignored either. And I think keeping, and if you take a look at the rec center or whatever, different ball fields, you can go on and on, the Barco Durat, those folks have lent themselves historically to large ticket projects in terms of some foundational monies to get things, going and get interest. And I think as well, we forget about that, and we assume it's there. Mm-hmm. But I would think that you have, you've got to be talking to all.
They need to feel more welcome and have a place at the table to what they want to see in Meadville as well. All the projects are great, and we get grants that are great. But the reality is we do need big companies and big people that have made a lot of money to help donate into Meadville.
100%.
We need that. And so they need to feel very welcome. And I would definitely make them feel welcome. I would be giving them phone calls personally saying, hey, I'm on city council now. I want to see what I can do for you. And what can you do for the city? Mm-hmm. Come, please, help us out. We need you. Yeah. Look at Rob Smith. That's always the example I use. Mm-hmm. Rob Smith has been huge for Meadville. I mean, people that don't know, he was the owner of Accutech, retired now, but he has, I don't know how many buildings he's rehabbed in Meadville himself, put his own money.
Right.
He's got businesses started in them. I think he has a deal like he's maybe a part owner or advisor for a while. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. He does something. Then he's got the whole Cusawaga Square. He's got the new restaurant. He's got the theater. That's all him. We need more Rob Smiths. That's how we're really going to grow. We need people like him to feel more invited to come and invest in our town.
Well stated.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, that's the old Ray Street Lumber, right?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing. If everybody hasn't been there, it feels like you're in a different place. Yeah. It doesn't feel like Meadville even.
You have to shake your head. Have you been over there?
No,
it's great. It's really great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So creating that environment where people want to say, hey, I want to invest. I want to do more like what Mr. Smith's doing. So that's kind of your vision.
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of pieces, let's say you're elected, day one, do you have that list of things that you want to accomplish right away, or what?
That's my number one.
Okay.
That's my number one. And I would like to revisit, and also I forgot to say Cup and Spoon is over there as well, by the way. It's a really nice Cup and Spoon.
The pictures look amazing. I haven't been in yet, but it looks amazing.
It's a great place. They also sell great protein powder there, shakes.
Oh.
Am I allowed to promote that?
You just did.
All right. What was your question?
The task, what's that list like day one?
Oh, yeah. The second thing that I would actually like to look at is the rental inspection program, which a lot of people misconstrued. They thought, well, the other team they lied about it, if I'm being honest, and said, all our opponents are completely against a rental inspection program, which I'm actually not. I'm just not for what they did. I just really feel like this is a very common sense thing that didn't have to be a big fight that pitted landlords versus tenants. And that's what it became. It became us versus them. And I feel like that's what they love to do. I wanted to bring both sides together easily. I think this is something that could have really easily been talked about. They said, what can we do? Let's have some representatives, and let's talk about what is an actual fair way to maybe make the housing, because if we're being honest, there's some housing in Meadville that looks pretty bad that people live in. And maybe we do need a little bit higher standards on some of the things. But we also can't make the landlords do so much that they have to put so much into it that now that person, they have to raise the rent. Okay, you made me put all this money into it. Well, now I was only charging $400 a month. Well, now I got to charge $600. Well, this guy can't afford $600. Okay, well, now he's out. How does that help anybody? So there's a lot of things to look at. There's a lot of moving parts, and that's why you have to really be smart about it instead of just taking a side and completely disregarding the other side.
Yeah, and I think to your point, there have been conversations where somebody says, our last tenant put 4 holes in the wall. I have to spend money to fix that.
Exactly.
it's an expense,
It's
and
an
I need
expense.
to make that up somewhere.
Yeah, I used to own, we had a couple of duplexes, my wife and I, and we were very fortunate. We had a lot of really, really good tenants, but I completely understand when someone does some damage to your place. I mean, it's hard. It's a lot of work. You get a lot of time. And we didn't hire, we did the stuff ourselves. So you're putting a lot of time, effort, money into it. So, I mean, you're going to get that money back out of it. I mean, you'd be crazy not to. That would be bad business.
Right.
So,
yep.
Have you talked with your, I'll say, teammates
Yeah.
that are running on the Republican side in terms of, Jim's been in there for how many years?
I don't a lot, but he's good.
He's good.
He's real good.
And do they echo your approach and, work collectively and work with the council that's there if you all get in?
I think that Jim, Dawn, and I would agree on probably 90% of the stuff, if not 95. I think that we have a very similar vision. One thing that I criticize the other team for is that everything that they say is always we. And that, to me, that's groupthink. And I don't want to think exactly like somebody else, and I don't think someone else should think exactly like me. And I think the way we have a better city council is, counting the mayor, you have 5 people that all bring their idea. And then you find what is the best idea for those 5 things. So me and Jim, we've been pretty lockstep on most things we've ever talked about, but that doesn't mean we're going to be lockstep on everything.
Right.
So I wouldn't be afraid to disagree with Jim on something, although, like I said, I think he's great, and I probably would agree with most of it. And I wouldn't be afraid to agree with Autumn on something. I wouldn't. I mean, if Autumn had a good idea, I'm like, Autumn, I like that. That's smart. It doesn't bother me.
Well, I think you get more out of people when you can have those disagreements, or say, hey, I like that, or that's a good approach, but what about this aspect of it? 100%. I think you can come up with something even better sometimes by
That's
having
what has to be done.
Yeah.
It's the only way it's going to get done. I mean, I feel like we don't do it. It's always 4 versus 1 now. It's these 4, Jim no, or Jim yes, these 4 no. That's how it always is. And it's become so divisive in the last 6 years or so, and I just don't think it needs to be that way.
Well, you've outlined your approach, your number one priority, and it sounds very much, Bill, and I've known you for years as well, that's needed. That's a necessary ingredient. This is, you're here first on the show tonight, but I mean, you bring something unique to the table. From your years of being from your being a business owner, particularly, and the ability to sort of bring people together. And I think everybody finds it refreshing that any candidate would say, hey, I'll listen to either side if we can agree. Let's move our community forward, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
When you drive or walk through Meadville, what makes you smile?
I smile when I see my building. It's a nice building. So anytime I see it, but it really makes me smile. I literally still smile when I drive by it every single time.
So there's pride there.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride there because I like to say it's the biggest building in Meadville, although I think it's second, but I think it looks the biggest. So it's
a big building.
It's the nicest. And I'm really proud of it. And it's really weird with that building. So I rented there for almost 10 years. And that's the weirdest thing is, for some reason, I always thought, I didn't want to. I never had a goal of owning it. I just always had this weird gut feeling that I was going to own it someday. And I don't know why. Just weird. You know how you have a gut feeling about things are going to happen? And then when I did, it was a lot to take on. And thank God, my wife. I mean, without Tara Lawrence, that building would not be what it is. And that's 100%. I mean, she was a rock star like you've never seen when we bought that building. It's funny because I told her, she was mad at me when we bought it. She's going to get mad at me for this interview. So she was upset. But I remember she said to me, she goes, okay, you already bought it. So I'm taking over. I'm going to make sure it gets rented out. That's going to be my job, and I'm going to do it. And she 100% took over as the manager of the building, and still is the manager of the building. And she filled that thing up so fast. We only had one tenant in there. It was me and one other person, the tuck shop, Harmony Formals.
Yeah.
And Tara filled that whole place up in 2 months.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she had it cash flowing in 2 months. So I remember when I bought that building. This isn't boring, is it? Okay.
No.
Well, no. So when I bought that building,
you're vested in the community in more ways than just about anybody.
This
right?
leads to developing downtown. What I'm about to say is we need people to take chances and take a chance on Meadville and try to make some big moves. Because I remember when I bought that building that night, I went and drove into that building at 2 o'clock in the morning and walked through an empty building, and I thought, oh my God, what have I done? I remember saying that. I'm like, what have I done? This is a terrible mistake. But I'm in it. And I just, we need people to take those chances, though. And that's how a community thrives.
Yeah, it's
having people not afraid to go do things.
It's funny because when I quit my job to focus on the business, like for a week, like every night, like just sick to your stomach.
You know the gut feeling, huh?
The gut feeling, and I also know having a very supportive spouse. Even those times where it's like, why are we doing this? Why are always there? And when you need somebody, they're the first ones to say, hey, what do you? I'll be there. I'll help. And if it's garbage, sweeping, running a camp, whatever it is, it's so important to have that support.
Oh, you nailed it. You can't, honestly, you can't do anything without a supportive spouse.
Yeah.
You got to. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Hey, we're approaching the holidays, Bill. If you can ask Santa for 3 things for Meadville, what would you ask for?
3 things for Meadville?
Yeah.
Do these things need to be paid for?
Santa's going to deliver. You don't need to, pay them or anything.
I would love to see more buildings rehabilitated nicer, so they look nicer. Okay. So a lot of it has to do, I think, with rehabilitation. I would like to see that. I would like to see more fun and exciting, businesses, things coming to Meadville that would make our kids want to make Meadville their home. Mm-hmm. And then I guess finally I would just love to see more happiness and less, sometimes glum is the word I feel sometimes when I'm walking through, and I feel like we need to lift, everything needs lifted up in Meadville. It needs a ray of sunshine over it. Like Meadville's got clouds over it all the time anyways, but we need to have some metaphoric sunshine to get everybody just a little bit more excited and just being downtown more. I want to see more like so busy downtown on a weekend, that of course there's so many people in and out of all the stores. That would be my wish.
It's all worthwhile, and I think if you drive some of that change of attitude, it impacts the local economy. It impacts people's attitudes. I mean, it doesn't create miracles, but it's the start of something, right? And I think you're talking about sort of a paradigm shift.
Yes.
And it starts in City Hall.
It starts in City Hall.
It starts in
City Hall with a mindset.
Well, it can also start in your neighborhood, too.
Yep.
You decide to paint your house or fix your porch. Then the neighbor's now looking at it going, oh, that looks pretty good. What can I do? Yep. And it's that trickle effect where, same thing with the downtown. Yep. New awning, new paint, clean sidewalks, whatever it is.
For sure.
And then people look at that and go, boy, that looks great.
Yep.
Why don't we do it?
That's exactly what we need to do. And it all starts with a mindset. It's no different than I think about when I competed, whether it was in sports and then owning a business, is you have to have that mindset of what's going to happen. And I feel like leadership in Meadville could have more of a mindset of we're going to be very successful instead of we're all going to be down here. I need us all to be up here, everybody. There's opportunities. Everybody can do it.
Sure. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world. It takes some courage to do what you're doing. It's not for everybody, even if you like it, it has its upside and downside, right? So, I mean...
But we'll find out. I could get on and think, but this was terrible. Not doing this again. Oopsies.
Just make sure you come back and join us for that show.
Oh, that was a mistake. I'm out.
Yeah, we'll mark that down. Bill, good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. I love coming on and talking to you guys.
Well,
appreciate it.
If something happens, again, political correspondent for us. So,
got it.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.